Hi guys, this is Brendan from So Cute Photo. Today we're going to be going over my Lightroom workflow. So I have Lightroom open here, and the first thing I'm going to do is create a new catalog that will keep all the photos from this one shoot. So I'm going to go File, New Catalog, and then I'm going to name it whatever the shoot was called. So for this I'm going to do Workshop. It'd be good if I spelled it correctly. Workshop, there we go. Create. It'll take a little second to generate that. Perfect. So once the catalog is created, then I'm going to import the photos from that shoot. So I'm going to go back up to File, down to Import Photos. And then on the side, you'll see your SD card or hard drive. You're going to want to click on it, and it'll import the photos. And then you select, they're all highlighted now, all on this card. And you select the photos you want to import. So if you have multiple shoots on this card, you can select a couple and deselect them, or you can select a couple and checkbox them. And down at the bottom, there's a check all button and an uncheck. Okay, so I have them all checked. Then I'm going to scroll over here on the right hand side and make sure we are in the correct catalog. So I'm going to go right down here to Workshop and import. And those will start importing. That's the first step. So now all my photos are imported, and I'm going to want to start editing and culling them. So we're going to go through each one. The way I cull is by the flagging system. So I use the arrow side to side to go through each photo like this. And then when I find one I want to keep, I hit P for pick, and it'll flag it as a pick. It'll put a flag in the preview in the bottom. And also, if you can see in the thumbnail at the top, let me move the picture so you can kind of see, that puts a little flag there too. So I go through all the photos and I pick and I pick and I pick. And then when I've gone through the whole session, pick, 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 pick. I go over here into the filters and I hit flagged. And it takes all the ones that I've picked and gets rid of all the ones that I haven't picked in the bottom selection. It doesn't actually delete them, it just sorts them for you. So I usually take 2 passes of culling when I edit. The first pass usually is taking out anything that's blurry or just people blinking or totally not good ones. So I'm picking just the technically good ones out of everything. And then from there, I look at all my flagged ones. And then you can even, like, I'll put the similar ones on the screen together, which I'll show you how to do. And then I unselect from there. So let's say these are, let's see these guys. These guys are all kind of similar here at the bottom. So I'm going to hold Shift and select all 3. Then right up here, I'm going to select this guy, the survey view, which is going to show me all 3. Just going to take that one away because that one's really different. And what you can do is you can hit spacebar, which will make it big, and you can use the arrow keys to go back and forth between the two. Looks like one's a little sharper than the other. So this one's the one I don't want. So I'm going to hit U for unpick. U, and then it goes away. So see down here, I only have one of those. So then that's what I do through my second pass, and I narrow it down to the ones I'm actually going to keep and edit. So once I have the session fully culled, then I can start making adjustments. So now I'm going to want to go from library, where I was doing all my culling, to develop, which is actually going to start editing and adjusting the photos. So I shoot Canon, and I noticed that my photos all of them universally are going to need some adjustments. So I've created something called Clean Edit, which is a preset. So I usually select all my photos and just apply the Clean Edit preset. But I'm going to teach you what's actually built into that so you can do it yourself. So first thing I do is I scroll all the way down to lens correction, and I enable profile corrections, which can tell um, what lens I used, and it makes a pretty big difference. It gets rid of the vignetting, which I personally like. That can be a preference, but I like kind of clean edges, so I always use the profile corrections, and sometimes I even lighten them up a little bit more, but it depends on the image. Okay, so that's the first thing that preset does. The second thing that preset does is it takes the orange out. I find my camera especially, but I feel like Canon in general shoots a little orange, so I take out about 10 in the orange. If you find that desaturates a little too much, like things like lips and things like that, if you add back just the tiniest little bit of red, it kind of balances it out. So if I hit 5 and give that a little bit of red, I'll give some more color in the lips. Okay, so that's the second thing it does. And then the last thing I do is I add some vibrance. So I add 15 of vibrance. So after I've done all my Lightroom adjustments, my adjusted white balance and exposure and stuff like that, after I do that, then I bring the photo into Photoshop and edit out distractions and things. So I double click or right click on it, hit edit in Adobe Photoshop. It's going to open the image up in Photoshop and save it as a TIFF. So I'm just going to quickly go here, zoom in and get rid of whatever that was. Cool, it's looking pretty good. Normally I would do some skin editing and stuff like that. Let me get rid of this person's, pretty sure that's a knee. Cool. I do some skin editing and things like that, but I just want to show you. So I edit in Photoshop, I hit save. Once it's done saving, I close it, minimize Photoshop, and when you go back here into Lightroom, you'll notice at the bottom it'll have a 1 of 2 and a 2 of 2. The 2 of 2, the second one, is actually your original file. It's, for me, it's a CR, it's a raw file, and the 1 of 2 is the TIFF that has the edits. So see if I go back and forth. And then what you'll want to do is you'll click on this guy and it will, what they call, stack them together. So you'll just see one. And so I do that to all my photos and then I'm all done. So thanks for watching, guys.